Hello students, I am VLN Swarupini, lecturer in biochemistry from Sri Venkateswara College of Arts and Sciences, which is affiliated to Adikavi Nandaya University, Rajahmundry. Now I would like to discuss about second BSc Biochemistry, third semester biochemistry paper, that is enzymology and bioenergetics. From this paper we already discussed unit 1 topics, and now let's move on to the unit 2, which is influence of physical factors and inhibition on enzyme activity. From this unit, let's start with the topic different factors influencing on enzyme activity. So let's start with the topic. Factors affecting enzyme activity. Okay. Here we will discuss about different physiological factors which influence the enzyme activity. Okay. Here the contact between the enzyme on the substrate is the most essential prerequisite for enzyme activity. That means for every enzyme activity there should be attachment or contact between enzyme and the substrate. That means interaction between enzyme and substrate is very essential for the enzyme activity. So to start any enzyme activity, before that enzyme and substrate should be in contact with each other. Without that there will be no enzyme activity occurred. So for occurrence of any enzyme activity, firstly contact of enzyme and substrate should be done. And the important factors that influence the velocity of the enzyme are like concentration of the enzyme, concentration of the substrate, effect of temperature, effect of pH, effect of product concentration, effect of activators, effect of time, effect of light and radiation. So these are the major factors which influence the velocity of the enzyme. Here velocity of the enzyme is nothing but the speed of the enzyme activity. Okay, how fast that particular enzyme activity occurs will depend on these characters like concentration of the enzyme, concentration of the substrate, effect of temperature, effect of pH, effect of product concentration, effect of activators, effect of time, effect of light and radiation. So these are the few factors which influence the velocity of the enzyme. Now let's see each and every factor in detail. Firstly, let's start with concentration of the enzyme. As the concentration of the enzyme increase, the velocity of the reaction proportionately increases. That means by the increase in the enzyme concentration, obviously velocity of the reaction increases. By increase in the enzyme concentration, parallelly velocity of the reaction will be increased. By using the enzyme concentration, diagnosis of some diseases is possible by taking a known volume of serum. That means based on this concentration of enzyme activity on the velocity of the reaction, we can diagnose some diseases by taking known volume of serum. Here based on the enzyme concentration, we can diagnose few diseases based on the serum diagnosis. Here we will take the serum and will estimate a product or any components which are present in the serum which are responsible for the diseases. We can identify that particular component by enzyme concentration method. Okay, this is the major diagnosis process in some diseases. And if we take enzyme activity and enzyme concentration and plot a graph, we'll get a straight line. Here because if the enzyme concentration increases, obviously enzyme activity will be increased. So that's why if we draw a graph by taking enzyme concentration on x-axis and enzyme activity on y-axis, will get a straight line. So this is how enzyme concentration will affect the velocity. That means by increasing in its concentration, obviously velocity of the reaction will be increased, and if the concentration of the enzyme will decrease, then obviously velocity of the reaction will be decreased. Now let's move on to the next factor, that is concentration of substrate. Here concentration of substrate is also an important factor influencing the velocity of the enzyme reaction. Here increase in the substrate concentration gradually increases the velocity of the enzyme reaction. That means this concentration of the substrate is also similar to that of concentration of the enzyme. Here by increase of the substrate concentration, obviously velocity of the enzyme concentration will be increased. Okay. So here increase in the substrate concentration gradually increases the velocity of the enzyme reaction within the limited range of the substrate level. That means even if the concentration of substrate is high, within that substrate range only that particular enzyme reaction will be present. Okay, here that's why within the limited range of substrate level. Okay, not beyond the substrate level. And if we take these components like substrate concentration and velocity on x and y axis respectively, we'll get a hyperbola reaction. A rectangular hyperbola is obtained when velocity is plotted against the substrate concentration. Okay, that means at velocity on y-axis and substrate concentration on x-axis, if we check a graph, what will happen? Hyperbola will be formed. Okay, and the next factor is effect of temperature. How and temperature will affect the enzyme activity. Here velocity of an enzyme reaction increases with increase in temperature up to a maximum and decline. That means velocity of an enzyme reaction increases with increase in temperature, but up to the maximum level only, and after that what will happen? There will be decline in that particular reaction. That means there will be decrease after reaching the maximum velocity of that enzyme activity. Again it starts decreasing. Okay, then firstly at an temperature in the by the increase in the temperature to some extent it will velocity of the enzyme reaction will increase, but at maximum temperature it will stop and again it will decrease. That's why when we draw a graph by taking enzyme velocity and temperature on this temperature, what will happen? Here a bell-shaped graph will be formed. That means here at optimum temperature enzyme velocity will be high, and after reaching the optimum temperature again velocity of the enzyme reaction will be decreased. Okay, temperature coefficient is defined as increase in enzyme velocity when the temperature is increased by 10 degrees centigrade. Temperature coefficient means it is the increase in enzyme velocity when the temperature is increased by 10 degrees centigrade. If you see the graph here, plotted points have difference of 10 degrees centigrade. Okay, The optimum temperature for most of the enzymes is between 40 degrees centigrade to 45 degrees centigrade. That means around almost all the enzymes have optimum temperature around 40 degrees to 45 degrees centigrade. When the enzymes are exposed to a temperature above 50 degrees centigrade, denaturation leads to dearrangement in the native structure of the protein and active sites are seen. Okay, what happens? As all the enzymes have 40 degrees centigrade to 45 degrees centigrade optimum temperature, after reaching above of this 45 degrees centigrade, that means around 50 degrees centigrade, there will be denaturation of the enzymes. That means this will disturb at 50 degrees centigrade. There will be denaturation of the protein structure and active site will not work properly, and again this decline in the enzyme activity will be seen. Okay, and the next factor is effect of pH. Effect of pH, increasing the hydrogen ion concentration. Here pH means nothing but the concentration of H plus ions. Okay, that means increasing of pH means nothing but increasing of hydrogen ion concentration only. Okay, increasing the hydrogen ion concentration considerably influences the enzyme activity, and a bell-shaped curve is normally obtained. Each enzyme has an optimum pH at which the velocity is maximum. Below and above the pH, the enzyme activity is much lower, and at extreme pH, the enzyme totally becomes inactive. That means this pH, if the concentration of the hydrogen ions is increased, it will lead to increase in the enzyme activity and a bell-shaped curve will be obtained. But on reaching the optimum temperature for that particular enzyme, that enzyme velocity will be maximum, and below that particular optimum pH for the enzyme activity, below the pH it will be less, and above the pH it will be extreme. There will be change in the shape of that particular protein, and enzyme totally becomes inactive. That means at optimum pH, the enzyme activity or the velocity of the enzyme reaction is very good and high. But below the optimum pH, enzyme activity will be low, and above the optimum pH, that particular enzyme will be totally inactive and there will be no enzyme activity. And the next factor is effect of product concentration. That is effect of product concentration. The accumulation of reaction products generally decrease the enzyme velocity. That means if you culture any bacteria for the production of enzyme, what will happen? As the increase in the bacterial culture will be seen by day, after few hours or after couple of days, and there will be production of the required enzyme also. But after couple of hours, what will happen? Along with the enzyme production that we required, that particular bacteria will also produce byproducts, and also the product or the enzyme product which we required will be produced in large quantities, and by the accumulation of the required product, what will happen? There will be decrease in the enzyme velocity. Okay, that means in any reaction, if the end product is accumulated in high concentrations, then it will lead to decrease in the enzyme reaction. Okay, the end product accumulation will directly influence the enzyme velocity. For certain enzymes, the products combine with the active site of the enzyme and form a loose complex and thus inhibit enzyme activity. What happens here? If the end products are accumulated, uh, few enzymes the products get accumulated and the product combine with the active site of the enzyme. That means apart from the substrate, this end product will combine with the active site of the enzyme and it forms a loose complex, and then what will happen? This will inhibit the enzyme activity. That means end product itself can inhibit the enzyme activity by binding to the active site. And the next factor is effect of activators. As our enzymes, we all know these activators are required for activity of some enzymes. Okay, some enzymes will show activity by the presence of these activators only. Okay, and some of the enzymes require certain inorganic cations like Mg plus 2, Mn plus 2, Zn plus 2, C8 plus 2, CO plus 2, Cu plus 2, Na plus 2 and K plus etc. for their optimum activity. That means some enzymes require inorganic cations like magnesium, manganese, zinc, calcium, copper, cobalt, sodium, potassium ions will be required for their optimum enzyme activity. And metal ions function as activation. They function as activation of enzyme velocity through various mechanisms. And the categories of enzymes requiring metals for their activity are metal activated enzymes and metalloenzymes. That means these metal ions functions as functions in activation of enzyme velocity through various mechanisms. That means each and every metal ion functions to activate the enzyme velocity in various mechanisms by following various mechanisms. And the categories of enzymes requiring metal ions are two types. Those are metal activated enzymes and metalloenzymes. Metal activated enzymes, the metal is not tightly held by the enzyme and can be exchanged easily with other ions. That means metals which are not tightly bound to the enzyme and can be easily exchanged with other ions. And examples for that metal activated enzyme is ATPase. It requires Mg plus 2 and Ca plus 2 activators. And metalloenzymes, these are the enzymes hold the metals rather tightly which are not readily exchanged. Example, cytochrome oxidase. It requires activators like Fe plus 2 and Cu copper plus 2. Okay, that means these are the two kinds of enzymes which require activators like inorganic metal ions, and these are metal activated enzymes and metalloenzymes. Metal activated enzymes, these enzymes they are not tightly bound to the enzyme, whereas metalloenzymes, these are the enzymes which are tightly bound to the metals. And examples for these are metal activated enzymes, example is ATPase, and metalloenzymes example is cytochrome oxidase. So these are the two different enzymes which require activators. Now let's see about the effect of time. Effect of time on this velocity of enzyme activity. And ideal and optimum conditions, the time required for an enzyme reaction is less. That means if any enzyme is provided with ideal and optimum conditions, that means pH, temperature or the activators which are required by that particular enzyme are properly available, that particular enzyme requires less time to show its enzyme activity. Okay, under ideal and optimum conditions the time required for an enzyme reaction is very less. That means if an enzyme is provided with proper optimum conditions, it will show enzyme activity in very less period of time. Variation in the time of the reaction are generally related to the alterations in pH and temperature. That means in any enzyme reaction, time variation will be seen by changes in the pH and temperature conditions. That means if pH or the temperature conditions are changed in any reaction, what will happen? That particular enzyme activity will show different time to complete the reaction. And effect of light and radiation. Effect of light and radiation. Exposure of enzymes to UV, beta rays, gamma rays, X-rays inactivate certain enzymes due to the formation of peroxides. That means whenever few enzymes exposed to UV rays, beta rays, gamma rays or X-rays, these form that particular peroxidase. Okay, and if you see an example, UV rays can inhibit salivary amylase activity. That means that amylase enzyme will be converted into its peroxidase or into its another component. Then UV rays will successfully inhibit that salivary amylase activity. Okay. So what is this topic? It is the effect of different factors on enzyme activity. Okay. And what are the factors that influence enzyme activity? Concentration of enzyme, concentration of substrate, effect of temperature, effect of pH, effect of product concentration, effect of activators, effect of time, effect of light and radiation. Okay. And what is concentration of enzymes? By increase in the concentration of any enzyme, there will be increase in the enzyme activity. Okay, if we draw a graph, a straight line will be formed as increase in the enzyme concentration, there will be increase in the enzyme activity. And if you see concentration of substrate, this also increases the velocity or the enzyme activity by increase in the substrate concentration. Here by if we draw a plot, then a hyperbola will be formed for the substrate concentration and enzyme activity. Okay. And the next factor is effect of temperature. What is effect of temperature? How this temperature will affect the enzyme activity? Here, velocity of an enzyme reaction increases with increase in temperature, but it will happen up to optimum temperature only. After reaching the optimum temperature of that particular enzyme, what will it do? It will be declined. After above the optimum temperature, the enzyme structure will be denatured and it will affect on the enzyme activity, and decrease in the enzyme activity will be seen. And if we draw a graph, we will get a bell shaped graph. Okay. If you take an enzyme activity, that means you you have taken an enzyme and then substrate, and you started giving optimum some temperature like 10 degrees centigrade, and you started increasing the temperature based on the temperature coefficient. That means temperature coefficient means it is the increase in enzyme velocity when the temperature is increased by 10 degrees centigrade. That means you at the start of the enzyme reaction you have given 10 degrees centigrade and next 20 degrees centigrade. In that manner you have increased the temperature from 0 to 45 degrees centigrade, and we all know that 40 to 45 degrees centigrade is the optimum temperature level for all the enzymes. And after reaching the till reaching that optimum temperature, enzyme activity will be increased with increase in the temperature. Okay, but whenever that particular enzyme reaction reaches above the optimum temperature, that means above 45 degrees centigrade, what will happen? There will be decline in the enzyme activity, and it is due to the changes in the structure of the enzyme. That means by increasing this temperature after 50 degrees centigrade, what will happen? That particular enzyme cannot work at that particular temperature. Why? Because at high temperatures enzymes are susceptible to denaturation. Okay, these particular enzymes will get denatured and their structural configuration will be lost, and it will not provide proper attachment for the substrate, and ultimately there will be a decrease in the enzyme activity. Okay, and if we draw a graph between this temperature on x-axis and enzyme activity on y-axis, we will get a bell-shaped graph, and we can plot optimum temperature there. Okay, and the next factor is effect of pH. This pH is also similar to that of temperature. Here what happens? There we discussed about the increase in the temperature, and regarding pH we will see the increase in the hydrogen ion concentration, and till optimum pH it will be increased, the enzyme activity will be increased, and after reaching optimum pH value, that particular enzyme activity will be decreased if that particular pH is increased beyond optimum pH. Okay, that means above the optimum pH the enzyme activity will be decreased, and below optimum pH also enzyme activity is little slow, and above the optimum pH at extreme pH the activity of the enzyme is absolutely 0 and the enzyme will be inactive. Okay, here also we will get a bell-shaped graph if we draw pH, concentration of pH on x-axis and enzyme activity on y-axis. Okay, and the next factor is effect of product concentration. That means even after the that means during the enzyme reaction process or enzyme catalysis, what will happen? After certain time the product formed will be accumulated. That means concentration of the product formed will be at very high level, and accumulation of this product will inhibit the enzyme activity. Okay, the accumulation of reaction products generally decrease the enzyme velocity. And why this happens? The products which are accumulated after higher concentration of the product formation, what will happen? Product itself will interact with the enzyme active site, and there will be change in the active site of the enzyme that will ultimately inhibit the enzyme activity. Okay, and the effect of activators, how activators will affect. Obviously activators will few enzymes will require activators for their enzyme catalysis or for their enzyme activity. And enzymes are two types which require these uh, activators. Those are metal activated enzymes and metallo enzymes. Here inorganic cations like magnesium, manganese, zinc, calcium, copper, cobalt, sodium, potassium, these sort of inorganic cations are used as activators, and due to presence of that particular activator, enzyme activity will be at high. Okay, and if we see what is metal activated enzymes, these are the enzymes which doesn't uh, bound tightly with the metal ion, that is with the inorganic cation. These enzymes will not attach tightly. Okay, that means the interaction between this metal ion and the enzyme is very it is little weak, and due to this they can easily exchange the ions. That means they can exchange the activator at any point. An example is ATPase. It can attach to both Mg plus 2 and Ca plus 2 cations. And metalloenzymes, here what will happen, the enzymes hold to the metals very tightly, and here there will be no exchange of cations is seen. Okay, and the example is cytochrome oxidase. Now let's see effect of time. Here this time will be decreased. We can decrease the time required for the enzyme activity by providing that enzyme and the substrate with suitable and ideal optimum conditions. That means like optimum temperature, optimum pH and optimum light. We can provide the optimum conditions so that enzyme activity will be very high, and it will be completed in less period of time. Okay, if we don't provide with these optimum conditions perfectly, the enzyme activity will take little more time to complete. Okay, and effect of light and radiation. Even light and radiation can cause changes in enzyme activity, like UV rays, these are UV visible rays, beta rays, gamma rays and X rays. These can inactivate the enzymes. That means by exposure of enzyme to these components, what will happen? It will bring changes in the structure of that particular enzyme. That means example for this is UV rays can inhibit salivary amylase activity. Salivary amylase activity can be inhibited by the enzyme by the exposure of the UV rays on that particular enzyme, salivary amylase. Okay. This is about the topic factors affecting enzyme activity. Please keep the material with you while listening to the class. And please if you have any doubts, once again listen to the class, and still if you don't get any clarification, you can ask me. Okay, thank you students. Listen to all the classes, and please ping me if you have any doubts. Thank you students.